I was really insecure of, like, I would not meet people. I would freak out when I had to meet people the next day. I would write down all possible questions that they could ask. Imagine that's how much afraid I was of just meeting people. Socially very awkward. I'm sure if tomorrow if someone's standing in front of me and laughing at me, it'll bother me. And I'll think, अच्छा इसने ये बोला होगा, what have I said wrong? I'll go home and think about all those things. That came as a shock to me, honestly, because I thought, okay, Laila Majnu aa gayi, now I have arrived. That's what I thought in my head. It was kind of disheartening at the time because I thought I wouldn't have to go and audition now. But that didn't change. I didn't get a lot of offers, and there were people around me which obviously had good intentions. But 10 people were giving me 10 different advices. When I got Bulbul, a lot of people said, "Don't do Bulbul. Why are you going into OTT space?" That is one point where I was like, I don't know whether I'm wasting my time and when that happens, na आपका belief भी अपने आप से थोड़ा it starts shaking. And it's not like I got great appreciation for my work in Laila Majnu. So I was also doubting myself as an actor. I was also doubting my profession, and I was like, what will I tell my parents that I quit? I can't do that.
She is in a league of her own. When she started with Laila Majnu, people thought she has entered with a bang. Then she did Bulbul, people thought she has reached like the highest of her capability. But then came Qala and she proved everyone wrong. And I'm just quite excited to see how much further this goes, because I know there's a lot to explore there. And from whatever I have read, whatever I've seen, and what I've seen in Qala, I just know she's meant for greatness, she's meant for the stars. That's what I wrote in my Instagram story also, which she reshared. So that I can say. She also believes in that. And it's a pleasure for me today to be sitting right next to Triptii.
Thank you for such a wonderful intro.
Firstly, welcome to Bollywood Baba.
Thank you.
And I must say, like, this is a film that is connected to me. Actually, when I wrote about you, about Anvita, everyone, like, this film has a lot of speciality in it that makes you ponder upon, that makes you connected to it. And there is the best thing about it is that it's not like it will shock you at the end with this unpredictability, but it's the impact it creates even though you know what's going to happen at the end. So that is the impact of it. Firstly, for you, how has been the reception from within the industry that you have received from the film?
It's been amazing, and I'm so glad that people are connecting to the story. People are understanding these little nuances that Anvita is trying to, little things that she's trying to say with the story, whether it's patriarchy, whether it's, wage disparity. Usne dal diya har jagah. And people are talking about those things, and I'm so glad that people are, watching it so carefully and talking about these little things. And I was just telling someone that people are talking about the curtains that are there in Qala's bedroom. So, you feel good and then you feel like, okay, people are, really enjoying watching your film. Some people have messaged me saying, Abhi 5 baar dekh liya hai or 6 baar dekh liya hai. So you feel like, wow, man, this is something that I'll always be proud of. And within the industry also, the response is amazing. I've gotten so many messages from actors, from Anurag sir posted, he wrote such beautiful things about Anvita, about Qala, and it just motivates you as an actor when it comes from someone like him, or just in the industry, if someone is appreciating your work, you just do feel motivated. So that is what.
I was so happy when I got this room for the interview, because the colors of the wall kind of reminds me of Qala's home.
This is Qala's prep room, pata hai? We prep here.
See, the paints remind me of that, and you're bringing the energy of Qala with that. With Anvita, in the 2 films that you have worked together, you have uncovered a lot and very subtly. It's not your in-your-face kind of things. Be it battling with patriarchy, be it, as you said, wage disparity and everything that goes with it. When you work with a female director who kind of has gone through it, and you have also somewhat in the way maybe faced it, does the relatability kind of help in kind of imbibing the character and the background that she's coming from?
It does help. I mean, there are conversations about whatever she's faced in her life or in the industry. So it does help you understand things a little better. But I don't think that is something that you can use while you're performing. They're just there for you to, have an idea of, okay, this is what happens. And I won't say that I have faced it because I've just entered, like I'm only 4 films old, and I hope that I never get to face anything like that. I've been very fortunate because whoever I've worked with in all my films have been very like, मतलब वो प्यार से एकदम रखा है मुझे बच्चे की तरह. So that ways I feel I'm quite blessed and quite thankful to God that I've only met good people, who take care of you, who look at you as a human being first and then an actor, which is so important, right? So yeah, I think there is understanding of these things. Okay, these things happen. They have happened to people before us. They will happen to people even going forward, unfortunately. But it's just important to talk about them. It's just important to have that awareness that this is something that is happening and something that should be, people should talk about it. Like, put an end to it. And I think stories are, such a great medium to talk about these things. In a खुशी में आप एक गहरी बात कह जाते हो, वही बात है.
So like wage disparity, something that even today exists and a lot of people have talked about. So it kind of connects on the current basis as well. For you, like in Qala, we see that she has a kind of an insecurity about her situation with her mother. Like she's not getting the kind of attention and love she deserves. In the initial phase of your coming into the industry, did you have any kind of insecurities that you have kind of learned to deal with over the years, or maybe something you are still facing?
A lot of them. When I came here, I was always an introvert. Like, even to talk to my relatives was a big deal for me. I used to just shut myself up in a room and be like, please, mere paas mat aao, because there was just shyness, a lot of shyness in me, which people at times used to take it as rudeness, that me being rude. But it was just me being shy and me being awkward with people. So that's why my parents were also shocked when I told them that I want to be in this industry, because you have to put yourself out there. You have to just, not just in front of the camera for the world, but there are people on set when you're shooting and they're looking at you and it's their job to look at you. You can't be like, don't look at me, please look away. Even when you're auditioning, there are so many people around you. So that for me was the biggest challenge, to just go out there and be like, okay, I'm comfortable with you looking at me while I'm performing. And, initially it was difficult for me to disconnect. Like when I would go for auditions initially, so वो fear होता था कि everybody is watching. So I used to, जैसे 4 लाइनें हैं तो फट काम खत्म करके भाग गए कि अच्छा चलो ठीक है अभी मैंने बोल दिया. Now there was no performance in place, because performance आने के लिए तो you have to first be comfortable, ना? You have to first be yourself, then you'll be some character. So that kind of has changed for me. I was really insecure of, like, I would not meet people. I would freak out when I had to meet people the next day. I would write down all possible questions that they could ask. Imagine that's how much afraid I was of just meeting people. Socially very awkward. But I think with time, I have kind of gotten used to all these. Like, I wouldn't be able to sit across you and talk like this if you'd met me 3 years back. I was a completely different person. But I think it's important to go through all those things. It's important to just push yourself when you're the most scared, because that's when you're actually there, that's when you feel like, अच्छा यही होगा ना, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा मजाक उड़ाओगे, उड़ा लो.
हाँ, but इसके साथ ना बहुत to be okay with that that takes a lot of courage.
It takes a lot, and I'm not saying that I'm okay with it now कि मुझे फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता. I'm sure if tomorrow someone's standing in front of me and laughing at me, it'll bother me, and I'll think कि अच्छा इसने ये बोला होगा, what have I said wrong? I'll go home and think about all those things. But I think with time ये भी चला जाएगा.
हाँ, वो धीरे-धीरे we are on the way. We are a work in progress.
Work in progress.
Yeah, but like Bulbul kind of changed everything for you. Yeah. But from Laila Majnu to Bulbul, that kind of a phase, like how did you deal with that? Because you did good work, people appreciated it, but very less people saw it.
Yeah.
To wait for that kind of an offer, that kind of brought you into the limelight, because you were an actor, but there was no one kind of taking as much notice of you.
Yeah.
How was dealing with that anonymity at that time? Because you were still out there, but still there was an anonymity to it.
Yeah. And that came as a shock to me, honestly, because I thought, okay, Laila Majnu aa gayi, now I have arrived. That's what I thought in my head. I was like, oh, my first big feature film, Imtiaz Ali and Sajid Ali and Avinash Tiwari. I was very, very excited, and I thought it's going to do great because it is such a beautiful story. I mean, the best love story, I feel. अपनी film सबको अच्छी लगती है वैसे.
आपकी film भी अच्छी लगती है.
And it was kind of disheartening at the time because I thought I won't have to go and audition now. But that didn't change. I didn't get a lot of offers, offers that I was expecting. So it did come as a shock. And there was a lot of time for me. Between Laila Majnu and Bulbul, there were almost 2 years. And when you've done something now, then it's like the next thing that you have to do, you have to be extremely careful. You can't do something like Laila Majnu and then do something that you don't believe in. You have to find that belief in your story. So that is something that I was not finding. And then there were people around me which obviously had good intentions, but 10 people were giving me 10 different advices. And as a newcomer, you can get confused. You can be like, I don't know which way to, go now. Even when I got Bulbul, a lot of people said, don't do Bulbul. Why are you going into OTT space? You've just given a feature film, it's a theatrical, don't go for OTT. But then I was like, listen, I have to tell stories that I believe in. I have to do something that I like, because for me, it's the experience that matters. It's not what platform or you release ka high, low. I feel it's there for 2-3 days and then it disappears. Then like 5 years from now, when I think of Qala, I'll go back to the shooting days. Not to when I was, talking about the film. No, मतलब मुझे वो अच्छी memories याद आएंगी जब मैं काम कर रही थी कला पे, or when I was with Anvita building her up. So I think one should always make sure that choose projects where you can have a good experience.
We'll make sure that this conversation happens in a way that you remember this as well at that time when you're remembering it.
100%.
We also have to self-promote and plug it a
yes,
little.
100%.
At that time, was there ever a moment or a phase where you kind of questioned that, is it the kind of right path to take?
100%. I did. Because ये भी होता है ना, when you're in a new city, you have to pay your rent also. You have to look at those things also, and when you're not working, you're not getting paid. So those things also become difficult, and that is one point where I was like, I don't know whether I'm wasting my time and when that happens na, आपका belief भी अपने आप से थोड़ा it starts shaking. And it's not like I got great appreciation for my work in Laila Majnu. I mean, people did love me, but not as much as they loved me after Bulbul or say Qala. So I was also doubting myself as an actor. I was also doubting my profession, and I was like, what will I tell my parents that I've quit? I can't do that. So that's kind of, I think, became my driving force, and I thought, I have to give it one more try.
I'll bring it a little back to Qala. Like, Qala is seeking validation of her mother.
Yeah.
Has it ever happened in your life that you have sought someone validation in a way that it meant so important to you that without it you felt a little incomplete in a sense?
I think there's always people in life who you seek these kind of validation from, and for me also it's been my parents, it's been my dad for the longest, because I remember being very bad in studies, very, very, very bad, and I still am and I'm not ashamed of it now. But back then school mein that is the pressure na, ki you have to, and my siblings were like toppers, class toppers, and I was like, so I wanted to prove a point to my dad for the longest. Even like in 6th standard, I failed in maths. So I had to repeat 1 year. And that whole year for me, I think it changed the way I looked at my life in a lot of ways, because it was so embarrassing for me to just go to school every day. And, my friends from my classmates who were now in 7th, they would give me looks, and बच्चों को क्या पता होता है ना? You're just teasing people. In your head, it's fun, but it can impact someone so badly. So that year, I think I studied so hard. The next year, I got A grade in every subject, and then I quit again. Then I'm like, see, I can do it. I don't like to do it. So
साबित कर दिया,
अब हो गया मेरा.
Yeah.
So I think for me, for the longest, it was my dad, and I think because of that only, I think I found the strength to survive here in this city because of that particular episode. Because I think I was at a point where I was like, I want to prove that I can take care of myself, I can be the best.
Yeah. It has been amazing seeing the growth that you have shown in ever since the starting of your career. I have witnessed it myself by your work. Today, getting to know you a little personally, has just been so enlightening and so exciting for me. Can't wait to see you explore it further and achieve much further height, because you are meant for that. I wrote it, I mean it. You are meant for the stars. You are meant to be amongst the legends. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for giving us Qala. Thank you for giving us Bulbul. Thank you for giving us Laila, and everything that you are going to give us in the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that.
You.
Hope you had a good time, because I had
a lovely
a great
time.
one. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Hi, this is Triptii Dimri and you're watching me on Bollywood Bubble. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.